Hello, my name is Lisa Lehman. I am the 17th Ward Democratic Committee Chair, and joining me today is Michael Root, who is a candidate for Syracuse City School Board. Welcome, and thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you. Thank you.
And I'm wondering if you could start us off by telling us a little bit about yourself and the experience you will bring to the school board.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Root. Obviously, born and raised in Syracuse. Actually, family goes back. We're potato famine Irish from Tip Hill. That have been here. My mother still living in the house we bought 144 years ago. Family.
Oh,
Um, Myself, I'm a retired high school teacher, 30 years social studies. I was also union president, local union president of the WDA, West Hill District Education Association. And so my goal is to bring my expertise to and what I've learned through the union, what I've learned through education, teaching kids. My experiences are varied. I started at Corcoran High School when I started teaching. From there, I was at Tully, Chittenango, and then I finished my career at West Hill High School. So I got a bit of urban, rural, and suburban experience, union experience in all those districts. My family, we live on Robino on the well, I guess the west side of Syracuse. My wife is a just retired from Blodgett, and my kids
oh,
are Corcoran.
congratulations to her.
Yeah, she's very happy. And my kids are Corcoran graduates. We live a block and a half from Corcoran, so it's just perfect.
Excellent. All right. And for those who don't know, so our audience here is voters in the city of Syracuse, and some have a greater or lesser knowledge with regard to what the school board does. Can you talk a little bit more about what the job of the school board is and what its responsibilities are?
So in a lot of ways, the school board is sort of a two-pronged approach to education. So one of our biggest responsibility, one big responsibility is to hire a superintendent. And the superintendent really controls the day-to-day operations, oversees the administrative staff that we. So our second thing is to make policies. So we hire a superintendent that's going to push through those policies, and our job is sort of to, really kind of push the reins onto the superintendent and then oversee the superintendent to question them, make sure they're doing what the policies we want to push forward. And so it's really collaborative. We hope actually in a perfect situation, we're working hand in hand with the superintendent in in critiquing and asking the right questions and making sure that any policies, any procedures or policies they're doing to push through our policies, that we're making sure they're doing right for the kids. And that's what it comes down to. We want to make sure they're reaching out to the kids, they're doing what we want for the kids. The schools are operating the way they should be. They're hiring the proper teachers, the administration, and the staff. So it's really a collaboration. And so a school board really wants to hire a superintendent and work with a superintendent that we can work hand in hand to better the educational environment for the children.
Can you elaborate a little bit on like maybe what one or two of the policies are and how they impact teachers, students, and anyone in particular?
So obviously the city of Syracuse, the district, we have a lot of, let's put this, so we want to make sure that, so we'll do it this way. So first of all, that we're hiring staff that are going to come in and do right by the kids. They're educated, they got the certification, they're being hired, and we want to make sure that we give the administration and the superintendent all the means to hire the best teachers for the
Hmm.
positions. But we also have a lot of programs that we want to that we have to vote on to pay for. Whether some are grants, but some are budgetary, and that those policies, those policies that the superintendent wants to utilize, have efficacy, that they're going to work for the kids. And so it goes to me as a teacher in 30 years experience as a union president and as a teacher, that these policies are going to be the proper policies. They're going to work both for the kids and the teachers. And so a big thing is when we hire a superintendent, we know that we know that they are going to do what we
Yeah.
hope they're going to do what we want, but we have to oversee that. We have to ask them. We can't just accept we're going to do this. Okay, no. How's this going to work?
Yeah.
Why this will be effective, and that's our job is to oversee that. Does that make sense?
It does. And I'm wondering, um, what motivates you? What made you want to run for school board?
Well, I always, I mean, I've been in education for, I mean, uh, my goal was to teach for 30 years, but my goal wasn't to get out of education.
Mhm.
Do my 30 years in, let the younger kids come in. I always think that's important. Let the younger kids come in. I used to tell my students, one of the hardest parts of teaching is that I'm teaching every year and I keep getting older, but my students stay the same age, you know?
They're getting
So I'm
younger every
22 years
day.
old. Yeah. I'm 22 years old teaching 18-year-olds, 9, 7, 16, 17, 18-year-olds. But I kept teaching 16, 17, 18-year-olds, and I'm in my 30s and my 40s and my 50s. And so sometimes it's time to put the baton off and let the younger generation. But it didn't mean I wanted to get out of education. I have expertise, I got experience, and I want to make sure I bring that forward. And I think everybody that runs for a school board, they have great ideas and they want to do what's right for kids. There's no doubt about it. But I feel as being a teacher, there's an experience that I can bring to the board and ask the proper questions about policies, about programs that the superintendent might want. Because I'm going to ask, well, how's that going to work for the kids?
Yeah.
What's the oversight on that? Is it going to be effective? And I think that you might have some board members, not just in Syracuse, but around the country, that you get a superintendent that says, we're going to do this. Great. Well, a teacher's going to say, well, wait a minute. What about this? What about this? Really kind of make
Yeah.
sure that this is a good program because things often sound great,
Mhm.
but my experience can make sure that we're doing the right thing.
Okay. And then, so the Syracuse City School Board is responsible for a large number of schools, a very large number of students. Can you talk a little bit about the particular needs of students in the city of Syracuse?
Well, I don't think anyone, I think we all know that we have a high poverty rate in the
Mhm.
city of Syracuse. And while poverty in itself does not mean that a kid's going to get a bad, the kid that grows up poor is going to have a poor education. But we have to understand, we got to make sure they're fed, make sure that they have the wraparound services. And so our job is to make sure that we're doing the best for these kids. We also have, I don't know how many scores of different languages spoken. We want to make sure that
Uh,
they're addressed. We got refugees, we got immigrants, and we got to make sure that we're getting teachers. And that's a trouble around the country,
yeah.
making sure that we're getting teachers in, and then the board should be reaching out to universities. We got great schools, Syracuse University, Lemoyne, Cortland. What are they doing to? I mean, we're one of the biggest, for Oswego and Cortland and Lemoyne and SU. Those students from those, they're coming to us. So we want to make sure we're reaching out to them, saying these are our needs. And I think the board can help that with policies, working with the superintendent to make sure that they're recruiting the right teachers for those.
Very good. My last question for you is for someone out there listening who wants to get more involved. Is there somewhere they can follow your campaign or contact you to get involved?
So I have a minimal, my campaign, as I was just saying, was basically my wife and I for the primary. But I do have a Facebook page, Friends of Michael Root.
Okay.
I do try to reach out here and there, and through my own, my own the people I know, my own connections. But you can get a good idea where I stand on education on my Facebook, Friends from Michael
Okay.
Root. And I
And
try to keep
we'll
that
include a
education.
link in the description or in the
Okay.
comments below
Yeah.
this so that everybody can check it out. Is there anything else we should know?
Well, I tell you, I know it's one of the, I enjoyed, and being retired actually sort of helped that, is I started knocking on doors back in late April, and I must have knocked on about 1,700 doors
Mhm.
throughout Syracuse. And what I enjoyed was talking to people, and education is important. wasn't a household where I chatted with someone that they want the kids educated. They want to make sure the best is for the kids. And it was nice to hear their concerns. So what I loved about walking around the city of Syracuse was, regardless if the individual was 20 or 85, they understand the importance of education, and they understand that we have to get the best teachers, and we have to do what's right for the students. And I try to push it, teachers and students, and too often I think that they separate. They've got students' needs and we got teachers' needs. To me, they're the same. What we do for teachers helps kids. What we do for kids works with teachers. And we have to make sure that we're putting that together. The teachers are on the forefront. They're the ones that are greeting the kids every day, and in getting the best teachers in the classroom, the teachers that are there welcoming the kids in the door with the kids for that 6.5, 7.5 hours a day. That's what we need to do, because that's the personal connection. That is what is going to make the schools great, and that's what I really try to push as I walk the streets. I went to every neighborhood in the city of Syracuse, and they all agree with that.
Very good. Thank you so much for your time today. And for those of you out there who are following along, if you found this content helpful, please give us a like and please subscribe to this channel so that you can hear more from some of our great candidates here in the city of Syracuse. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.